Conversations with Gen Z, presented by Church in Action. Today we're going to be talking about the stresses of life, the isolation of the pandemic, and mental health in our phones. So let's tune in to see what they're talking about.
Do you feel your generation is ill prepared to handle the stressors of life?
I wouldn't say ill prepared. I'd say that it kind of feels like it was rushed, but I feel like the people who are in our generation are growing up as expected. Despite a few years of a pandemic that happened, which kind of stunted it. I feel like with every generation, there's people who feel like they grew up too fast. Yeah. Or people who, not saying that like everyone in Gen Z, but like people who had to grow up faster in order to provide for their families, in order to do a lot of different things.
So I wanted to say, like, I definitely agree. Like, I do feel like it was rushed, but in the sense of this, like, I feel like a lot of like stressful situations that we went through and stuff like that, a lot of time people like older generations don't understand, and they will say like, oh, you're just a kid, you're not going through anything, you're fine, like, you know, stuff like that. So that made us have to like basically learn how to cope with what we go through by ourselves. So that's why I feel like the sense of we had to grow up, like, and not all the time in every situation, but we kind of had to grow up like dealing with our problems by ourselves. And with the whole pandemic, I actually feel like the pandemic helped like us like more deal with stressful situations and stuff like that, because it further isolated us in a way. Because even though we already, well, this is just me, like I already felt like at times, like when I was talking about a problem or something like that, that sometimes it'd be blown off as, oh, you're just a kid, you're not dealing with anything. And then when you with the pandemic, like now you're even more alone, because like you can't see your friends every day. You can't see your friends and be like, oh, hey, like can I talk to you about this problem and that problem? It was more so like of a over the phone, can I talk to you about it? But you know, over the phone is never the same as physically sitting with somebody and talking to them about your problems. So it just kind of puts you in this state of like, I'm even more alone than I was before, I guess.
I got another question. So do y'all think that like the pandemic made y'all kind of crave the in-person more or appreciate it more?
When I used to hang out with my friends and stuff, like sometimes we would hang out and we would all just be sitting on our phones. But now, like after the pandemic, when I hang out with my friends, I basically like not turn my phone off. It's on do not disturb. I'm not even looking at it. Like it might as well not be there, because when I'm hanging out with my friends, like I'm just there, like I'm in that space with them. And I get mad at my friends for real, like when they are on their phones and stuff like that. Cause I'm like, dang guys, like we hang out, like we're outside. What are y'all doing?
That's good. I feel like we definitely took it for granted before. A lot of people who were so used to social interaction in person kind of suffered heavily from the first year of the pandemic. And when it started to ease up, it got better, but it still wasn't the same. And now I feel like a lot of people are starting to appreciate that in-person interaction a little bit more.
I don't know if y'all heard, but there's a rumor going around that y'all can't put down y'all phones, but I'm hearing something different. It sounds like y'all not really attached to it like people say.
I definitely still think that like there's still people that are attached to their phones for the simple fact that we were in a pandemic, and that is the way you communicated. So like you communicate with like not just people that were in your like inner circle, but like a lot of people communicate with people that are like outside of their circle, people that maybe don't live where they live. So some people are still like really onto their phone if they have that connection with somebody that's not immediately around them.
Yeah.
Other than that, yeah, I think a lot of people are moving away from like the their phones and trying to be more personal, so to speak.
That's
Not to
awesome.
say that we aren't totally engrossed in our phones, like almost 24/7. Like we are starting to appreciate that element of personality that you get when you're in person with someone.
So do you feel that being engrossed in your phone, does that have any type of effect on the mental health of your generation?
That is a difficult question to answer. Yes. I feel like it has an impact on anyone's mental health. With something you're going to interact with every day, like if you are used to, say, hugging your significant other every day, and you keep doing it every day, and then they break that tradition, you can kind of feel stressed or like that, have that moment of anxiety. It's kind of like that.
I kind of want to. I feel like phones are bittersweet in terms of this. Like, so yes, I have some friends who I met online and they're great friends, but they don't live here. They might not even live in this country. So if I just say, oh, forget my phone, I'm never going to use my phone again, well, then I lose those great friends. But on the flip side, it is sometimes where I be on my phone and I'll be like, dang, like, I really wish I didn't need my phone. Like, I really wish I didn't need to be on my phone. So I would say it's just like that complex of like, it's great people who you can text and talk stuff like that. But at the same time, like, influences like social media, mainly social media, like that just, for me, social media became so toxic. So I just don't really even like being on social media as much as I used to.